Can you hear that? Hey everyone, it's Kenji. I am at the University Village, where I just stopped at Hey Bagel, which is a new bagel shop that opened up, I don't know, like a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago. It's run by my buddy Andrew Rubenstein, who used to run Rubenstein's Bagel. Rubenstein's Bagels they have a couple of locations now. They were taken over by Ethan Stowell's restaurant group. I did a review of them like a few months ago. They used to be great. They now just kind of exist. But Andrew has been working on a new bagel project that's all his own. It's called Hey Bagel. It's kind of like, well, the bagels look great, first of all, but you know, the concept is similar to something like Courage Bagels down in LA, where the idea is like, well, it's like what bagel shops used to be. You know, I grew up in New York. For me, going to a bagel shop meant my mom would pull over, double park. I'd run into the shop. All the bagels would be in a basket. They'd be baked fresh. You'd feel the glass to see which was the hottest one, and I would get some of those bagels. You'd get them either, you know, if they were very hot, you'd get them with butter. If they had cooled a little bit, you'd get them with cream cheese. But bagels were never more than, say, half an hour old, and they were never toasted. There was no toasters at these shops. Toasting is a thing that I think was invented in non-New York markets to revive bagels that have sat around for too long, because bagels have this, you know, not a great half-life as far as how stale they get because of their density. So these bagels, the idea is that he bakes them fresh throughout the day. So they're baked, they come out every half hour or so. So they're always fresh, usually warm, and it makes a real big difference in sort of the texture. Yeah, so still steaming hot. They don't make sandwiches there. All you can get is bagels and cream cheese, and the cream cheese comes in little tubs, so you can dip and eat.
I love your videos.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. That is real good. Are these the best bagels in Seattle? Maybe. Certainly up there with Mount Bagel, if you're familiar with that. Killer coffee too. You know, they've got that contrast between like a real eggshell thin crust. So if you look at the plain, you can see the little micro blisters, and you can feel the crackliness. Can you hear that? Let me rip this open just so you can see it up close. You see that contrast between the real thin crust and the pretty dense interior, but these are less dense than a real sort of typical New York style, old school New York style bagel, which would have more density to it. But I don't know that that's a bad thing. Crackly, chewy, a little sweet, some sourdough flavor to this. Also not a flavor of the bagels of my youth. But it works. It's real delicious. Wow. Excellent. He also makes Bialys. These also don't look like the Bialys I'm used to in New York, which are a little bit smaller. Bialy, by the way, yes, if you're unfamiliar with Bialys, they are another thing that they serve at appetizing shops, at bagel and salmon shops. And they're essentially like I think they're made from bagel dough, although they aren't boiled, and they don't have a hole, and instead they've got a dimple that's stuffed with onions. They've also got a cheese version at Hey Bagel. Sweet white onion. Also excellent. All right. Hey Bagel, salt bagels, sesame bagels, poppy seed bagels, plain bagels, and everything. Along with 2 types of Bialys. That's what they got. They've got 3 flavors of cream cheese. They've got coffee and nothing else. Keep it simple, which is great. You know, that's the other thing is that what I found coming to bagel shops in the Pacific Northwest, in Seattle, or even on the West Coast, just in San Francisco in general, in New York, you walk into a bagel shop, and even if there's a line like down the block, you're in and out in a matter of minutes. You know, the guys. They point at you, they take your order, they smear on the cream cheese, they hand it to you, and you're out the door. There's no like messing around making sandwiches or toasting, and so even with the line, it's quick. Whereas in Seattle, at some of these bagel shops, you come to the front of the line, you're standing in line, and you know there's people in front of you, and if it's 3 people deep, you know that 3 people is going to take you at least 15-20 minutes to get out, because someone gets to the front of the line, then they have to look at this menu of like 20 different sandwiches, and obviously they weren't looking at the menu as they were waiting in line. They wait till they get to the very front before they realize the menu's there, and then they're like, oh, do I want the one with salmon and cucumbers and dill, or do I want it open faced, or do I want to add the capers? And it's just like, Jesus, come on. So that's what I really do like, the fact that this place has a real simple menu, not many options, not a lot of choices, quick in and out, and you got your bagel, and that's it. All right, Hey Bagel, guys, gals, non-binary pals. See you later. Oh, the other thing I want to add that I like about the everything bagels, first of all, they're coated on both sides, which I love. Secondly, they've got enough salt, and the salt is the chunky kind that doesn't make the bagel, like sometimes you go to a bagel shop and they put like Malden salt on there, they maybe put fleur de sel, something like that. And what happens is it draws out the moisture from the surface of the bagel, and so the crust of the bagel ends up getting softened. That is not what's happening here. These are plenty salty. You want those little, I want those little crunches of salt in an everything bagel. The only thing that everything bagel is missing for me is caraway, which I know is a thing that not everybody loves, but I like caraway on an everything bagel. Anyway, it's not enough to make me, to put marks against this place. All right, Hey Bagel, see you later.